What's up, everyone? I'm Andrew Nolan. I'm a music producer and guitarist for the band A Somerset Parade. Welcome to the series called Songs of the Hyades, a look inside Carcosa, where I give you an inside look into the production and mix of each song on our recently released album, Carcosa. I produced this album, so I'm going to give you a ton of insight into how I wrote, edited, tracked, and mixed each song on the album, basically start to finish, showing you through all the Pro Tools sessions and all the different elements in each song. There's a ton of cool stuff on the album, so I'm really looking forward to actually showing everyone what's in there. Also, if you like what you see, hit me up, let's work together. All my details will be in the description below, on my socials, email, all that sort of stuff. Shoot us a message and let's work together. And without further ado, let's get stuck in. Alrighty then. Cool. So, Alpha, third track on the album. Backstory. What can I tell you about this one? This was the first song on the album that was released. It was the first single. This was a song that we actually booked a week in an Airbnb up in Mullaney, like up in the mountains, up in nature. So booked a week up there to just write and come up with ideas. So I took my entire setup here up to the Airbnb, and we took all our guitars and built a little makeshift vocal booth up there and everything, just with the sole purpose of just spending a week all together just writing stuff for the album. And this was one of the songs that I think we spent a lot of time on, from memory. I'd initially come up with a demo. I can't remember how much exactly, but like this opening riff was one of those, you hear of people like getting like some sort of creativity lightning rod, just doing some menial task or whatever. I was literally in the shower and had to jump out because I just heard this thing in my head and jumped out of the shower, quickly ran over to the computer and recorded it. And that is what the main riff of Alpha is. It was kind of like worked on with everyone kind of all together in that week up in Mullaney, and we got quite a bit sorted. It was good having everyone chip in and give ideas, and especially the structure of the song. I think initially I had the chorus be something else, or like the way I had it was not how it currently is. I think Dan and Brad had like some good guidance. They're like, no, especially Dan. He was like, no. This is the chorus. I'm like, that's the chorus? They're like, isn't that the verse? I'm like, no, that's the chorus. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, oh, yeah, just put that there, and just breakdown, outro, done. I'm like, oh, well, it doesn't need to go back into another chord. And he's like, no. Short and sweet, little banger. I'm like, oh, okay. So, it was definitely a big group effort, this one. Putting all the parts together and making it all work and be cool and hard hitting. So I guess I'll just go through all the individual elements again, top to bottom. I've just got the vocals inactive at the moment just to try and keep things flowing on the computer. Drums. So, they're the exact same drums as like Invader's Summer. Nothing really new there. Still modern and massive, still using all the same triggers and samples. It's still laid out exactly the same, all the same routing, processing, literally exactly the same. So just a refresher, that kind of sounds a lot like this. Sounds rad. We like it. Cool. So effects. Excuse me. I don't think there's a massive amount of like these post effects, sort of one-shot samples. A lot of these, like sub-drop explosion type things, they're in all the songs on the album. So I would have just copied all of this and just pasted it wherever I needed it throughout the album. I just liked the combination of like the explosion, like car explosions, broken glass, sub drops, all that sort of stuff. So I used that as like the sort of impact hit that I was going to use throughout the entire album. Just keep it cohesive and much easier that way. Yeah, so what do we got? Once again, rises, explosions, sucks and blows, as Brad affectionately calls them. And some wolves, because it ties in with the theme of Alpha. And if you can see the name of that track there, you can probably guess where that sample is from. I'm not going to give it to you directly. You got to figure it out yourself. I mean, it's right there in front of you, but, you know, use your powers of deduction to figure it out. What else we got? Yeah, so all this sort of stuff. Excuse me. Very cool. Adds tension. And then, you know, it's very important to build tension and then give that sort of payoff throughout a song. Whether it's building up throughout the entire song or whether it's building up and then relieving in each section. You kind of need that. That's kind of what we want to hear as a listener. That sort of build up tension, resolve, rinse, repeat. Whether it's chord progressions or just like ambient sounds, or, you know, rhythmic sort of stuff. It all kind of plays together. So let's just put some of that effects and drums together. Maybe the verse. They're just kind of building up in the background. Super subtle, but just adds to that sort of underlying tension. Yeah, so what else is there in the effects? I think they're probably pneumatic drills, explosions. That's in the chorus. Yep, the verses. Yep. That again. So I guess the only other different thing for the effects would be in the breakdown, potentially. It's like your Terminator style beat. Cool. Alright, so there is a bit to talk about in that section, effects wise. So let's open that up. And it looks like I got pretty lazy with the tracks here. I have a clap track, which is in the pre-choruses. But for some reason I've got that on that track. Why not? Maybe I ran out of tracks. I don't know. I was more likely just lazy. Alright. So, what do we got? And these look like crowd shots that I've put on the Wolf track. Sound odd on their own, but they do the thing in the mix. Yeah, just kind of emphasizing the offbeat there. What's this thing doing? More rises and explosions. Wolf growls. That one's sick. I like that. Yeah, so I think the main thing would be this beat. This would have been from Machina. Or Machine. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Yep. That sort of jive. Let's just play that section with the drums, maybe. Let's close this. Let's get rid of that. Those wolf samples, they work really well for that section. I think that's rad. And there's some other sort of like percussive hit. Is it this? Nope. It's like the old sort of beer keg hit. Where is it? Must be this one. Yeah. No idea what that is. Would have got it off Splice. But that's the exact sort of sound I wanted for that little section. Kind of emphasize. Sick. Yeah, well, that is the effects and the drums. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory, all that sort of stuff. Bass. So, once again, bass is Euro bass with a whole bunch of processing. Let's just play the main riff. Super tight, super quantized. Gives it way more impact when it's super tight. And it switches up to a clean, so going from like an overdriven bass to somewhat clean with a little bit of chorus maybe. Switch up to distorted. So yeah, in Eurobass you can actually select like your overdriven, your clean, DI, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I probably had that automated or I had them on separate tracks. And then I've just kind of compiled them all into one bass track. So yeah, that's just rinse and repeat. Verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Let's just head over to the breakdown section because that's the next different section. Love that bouncy sort of outro section. Gives me Limp Bizkit. I think that's what we we're going for that sort of section. And sort of super bouncy, groovy, new metal-ish. And just tie the bow on the knot right at the end there. Bring it all together. Super sick. Yep, that's your bass for you. Yeah, it doesn't really change up too much there, apart from like your clean and your distorted sections. Yeah, all programmed Eurobase. Super sick. Yeah, let's do guitars. Why not? What have I got? Probably a shitload. Yeah, every song seems to have a different layout for the guitars, different processing. For this particular song, it was done pretty early on in the piece, and I've just put all the guitars, like all the rhythm, all the leads, all the everything, just in the one folder. And I've got like a bus here where like the main rhythms are going to, but then they're going to this auxiliary folder for even more processing. Some stuff are going straight to the guitar bus up here and bypassing everything. And then you got your lead guitar stuff, which is going to lead guitars. I've also got like an effects bus as well, with like some reverb, widener, distortion, and let's find out together. Echo Boy, all right, and a crystallizer. Cool. So that's my lead effects there. I don't think I have this anymore, so this is probably, yeah. Was using the east-west spaces. Don't have that license at the moment. Yeah. And not much. Actually, hardly anything. Just a little bit of breakup to the effects. Yeah. Alright, cool. So, yeah, lead. More leads, guitars. Okay. Alright, let's maybe have a listen to just the rhythms. So yeah, this is the thing that interrupted my shower. It made me run over the computer and write and record. Yeah, I guess I just had that kind of come to me in my moment of cleanliness. And I've basically just taken that and done an octave lower, using elastic audio most likely, and then just event would have been like, where is it? Transpose, and then you just pitch it down one octave. You get that floppy low end. It's cool. It like with that octave lower, kind of connects it more to the bass as well, and kind of bridges the gap between like that sort of pointy rhythm guitar and like the massive low end of the bass. Kind of just extends the range of the rhythm guitar. I'm using STL Tone Hub. Pretty sure I'm using the Lee Malia from Bring Me the Horizon, one of his presets. Can't remember which one. Oh, I think it's like one of the Marshalls. Super cool. Perfect for this style of music. What do we got here? So it's like playing the full chord rather than just like the single note, as you can see here. So that's just a single string, whereas this is like the full chord expression. And it would have been on my... That would probably would have been the actual demo. Because that sounds like my other guitar, my Ibanez. So yeah, I obviously left those in and then just recorded my Hyades guitar, just doing like the single string stuff over the top of it, and then just blended all of those together to make just a more wall of sound sort of guitar. So just doing slightly different variations, essentially doing the same thing, but then that just kind of fills it out, rounds it out. Plus there's like 6 different guitars happening there. So yeah, makes it bigger. And what is this? What's that? Tremolo. How'd it go? And then a harmony. Yeah, so just using probably tremolator. Yep, there it is. Then distorting it up with decapitator, doing some pitching with a little altar boy, and just widening it. So that sounds like... I didn't realize that was in there. That is the outro of the song. Just thrown in there at the start. Pretty cool. All right. You never know what you find in these things when you look at them a year later or 2 years later, however long it's been. Cool. So that is the intro riff guitars. Also, I've got like a Valhalla room on the guitars, which just puts the guitars in a space and just makes it less just straight digital-ish. I don't know, it just kind of gives it a bit more of a natural room vibe. Just noticing that as I'm listening to it, every time I hit stop, I'm like, oh, there's a reverb on there. I did that. Alright, verse. What have we got in the verse? More tremolo. Yeah. I'm a big fan of tremolo. I think it's really cool. I use it quite often. That's cool. This would be maybe a harmony. I don't know. That's pretty neat. Yeah. Don't know what that is. Like what preset or anything like that. But it would have been, yeah, a preset in STL Tone Hub. Just kind of build that sort of dissonant sort of tension in the background. This looks like a phaser. Ah, that thing, yeah. It's very throaty. So that'd be this thing in between. Pretty cool. Filter. Oh, that's just that little transition piece. These, yeah, these are cool. They're like, it's giving me Terminator. Like, if I mute them. It's fine, it's just not cool. And if I bring them back in. Yeah, just a cool piece of layering. Very cool. Pre-chorus. I think there's... Where was this inspired by? It's probably like Papa Roach, to be honest. There's a song of theirs. You'll find it. It's like a... There's a running... Something about blood. Something about blood. Very similar sort of tom section on the drums. But I'm sure there's a bunch of songs that do that. But I'm pretty sure that's where I kind of channeled in that sort of vibe from. Alright, so lots going in the pre-chorus there. So your rhythms are doing... And also there's a slight key change. I don't know, don't ask me what the actual key is, but it does change slightly from the verse to the pre-chorus. And to do that is this little fella right here. So that's how it kind of transitions there. It goes from, all I know is guitar terminology, so it's like 2, 3, open in like the intro and the verse, and then it goes from 2, 4, 5, the rest. So whatever that key change is, it's different. That's all I know. And that's how I did it. That's how it transitioned, so it didn't sound so jarring. Okay, little lead bits in the pre-chorus. This one says pre-chorus old, so that would have been in like the original demo, perhaps. But yeah, all this stuff is very like 80s, early 90s Terminator. That's that. Every time I hear that's all I can hear is that sort of Terminator stuff. More tremolo sort of stuff. Kind of off-putting in a cool way. Sick. Let's add some drums. So that'll be cool. Yeah, that is very cool. Yeah, I'm super happy with how that pre-chorus came together. Yeah, to me, that's rad. That is right up my alley. Doing all the things there. Love it. All right, chorus. Back to guitars. Your main guitars. Yeah, I think we came up with that up in Mulaney. It's kind of like a group effort, that one. There's your floppy octave down. Rad. What else is there? What's this? Looks like octaves. Cool. What's this? More octaves. Just doing a different harmony. Yeah, cool. And all the guitars in that section. Yeah, just to kind of give that second half of the chorus a bit of a lift. So yeah, it kind of feels like it's building throughout the chorus. Pretty sure the vocals are doing something different, so we wanted the guitars to do something different as well and kind of add to what was already there. So once again, you want to build, kind of build and then drop throughout the song, whether that's with tension, resolve, or just additive, subtractive sort of song writing, or just layering in general. Alright, now verse, pre-chorus, that all repeats. Breakdown. Let's go to guitars on the breakdown. Alright, what do we got? Yep. It's just doing the same thing as the bass. Alright, what have we got here? We got your low stuff. Yep. This might be the full chords. No, singles. What? That's cool. I'm sure that was a happy accident. That one just sort of glitched out thing. Then where I've gone, oh, that sounds cool, and turned it up in the mix. But not for that section. Interesting. Yeah, those I think are like old versions of that section before I've redone that whole thing with the new guitar. That might have been like from the demoing stage up in Mulaney or whatever. And then it's just this reverse guitar at the end. That's where like the wolf kicks in, I think, from memory. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just something to ramp up into that wolf growl. And you basically just, use whatever tricks at your disposal, whether it's a sample like a riser, or if you want to just take a guitar and reverse it and just kind of ramp it up or whatever. These are all just tools to kind of take what's in your head into Pro Tools and, create a song out of it. So, there's plenty of ways to skin that cat, and just the more you do this, the more sort of tools you get at your disposal, and the more sort of like ways you can voice certain things that you're hearing or want to hear in the song. It's all kind of like ways to keep the song moving, keep it interesting, all that sort of stuff. All right, so I think that kind of covers guitars. Let's move on to the synth. It's probably a reasonable amount of stuff in here. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, let's have a look. Let's go back to the top. Run these synths. Cool. Yeah, so this thing is just doing what the guitar and bass is doing. Just really driving the point home, kind of bolstering up the guitars. Synth pad. What's this? Oh, that's the thing. Alright. I'm not sure what I used there, but I've obviously chopped it up and made it super staccato to work for that riff. What's this one? This is an absinthe. Yeah, kind of just automating the volume to keep it kind of pulsing a little bit. Yeah, absinthe is really cool for that sort of like, I'm pretty sure, it's got all that sort of weird atmospheric stuff in there. Very handy for filling in atmosphere in the background. And then you got your, this feels very sort of like Mick Gordon doomish. Very simple notes, just very effective. Kind of do the thing. Oh, too far. Let's go back here. This builds up. Explosions. Yeah, all these things kind of help the song pulse and breathe and kind of keep it interesting throughout. So you don't want things to be too stagnant. You want things to be kind of coming in, moving out, moving to the side, letting other things breathe. It's not necessarily stuff that you'd notice when you're listening to it, but if it's not there, it kind of just feels stagnant. It just feels kind of boring. So just doing all these little automation stuff and having all these rises, explosions, they're a little bit cliche, but they definitely still serve a purpose, and that's to emphasize certain bits and kind of build up and then drop and then do all that sort of fun stuff to, as I said, yeah, keep the song moving, keep it dynamic, keep it breathing. Right, that is that section. Let's move on to the verse. Just enhancing the riff at the moment. There's some brams in there somewhere. Alright, let's go up top here. What do we got? Absinthe again. Love that stuff. That sort of bell, sort of ethereal sort of sounding stuff. Like having all those tinkly little melodies in the background, especially for like very simple riffs. That's the great thing about simple, effective riffs, is that you can build simple melodies that are also really effective on top of them, and they don't kind of fall apart and clash too much. This would be like a dive leading into the next section. Down here somewhere. Alright. What's this? Swell? There's your brams. What's this? I think that'll sound cool. Played with this. Yeah, nothing too crazy happening in that verse. I think we wanted to keep it very staunch, very just rhythmically driven, with just like these few extra melody elements to keep the ambience, all that sort of weird atmosphere stuff happening in the background. Pre-chorus. Following the lead guitars. Yeah, so I think they're just doing what the lead guitars are doing in that section. That's a stripped back version of it. Another stripped back version. Alright, it's doing all of it. Alright. It's almost like a harp. It's pretty cool. More tremolo vibes. It's cool because it gives like a bit of a rhythmic feel to the lead. It's almost like a lead guitar in itself. Love it. I'll play that with the drums because that's always fun. Some effects. Claps. shudder to think that people are making music without explosions and pneumatic drills. I just, why would you limit yourself? It sounds so good. Amazing. Amazing. Cool. Chorus. Alright, grab these synths again. Cool. Just looks like a lot of layering of stuff doing what the guitar is doing. Just different versions of that. It's very 8-bit sort of broken. Cool. Maybe sub. And that's all going through this growl channel where it's getting probably smashed. And then EQ'd. And then we've got some choirs too. Used Vocalize for that one in Native Instruments. Actually, I can't remember who makes that. More tremolo stuff. Choruses? Oh, okay. Big beefy choir in the background too. Epic. So yeah, let's hear all that with the drums. So sick. Very cool. All right. Breakdown. Actually, I don't think there's anything synth-wise. That is shocking. That would have been the perfect opportunity to put big brams and other sort of beefy sort of synthesizers. Yeah, that would have been the way to go. Don't know why I didn't do that. Interesting. Oh. So there's no synth in the breakdown or the outro of the song at all. Yeah, normally I would have put it like, leave that section without synth and then bring it in here just to really drive the point home. So it kind of builds in this section. But I didn't do it. Don't know why. Just didn't. Still works. Awesome. That is the synth. I don't think I played the main riff and the drums. So I'll just do that quickly. Might as well just keep it playing. I think this is my favourite thing to do, is to go and listen to just like synth and drums on all these songs. You don't get to hear it on its own, so it's really cool. Because normally the guitars are just doing so much. It's cool to just hear all this stuff on its own. I'll just drink my coffee while that's playing. Sick. I think also, fun fact, Brad really wanted this song to be 3 minutes long. And so when I exported it, it was like 3 minutes exactly. But then when we got it back from mastering, it was like 2 minutes 58 or something like that. Although it was really funny. It's like, it's not a real song unless it's 3 minutes. Well, guess it's not a real song then. Cool. Alright. Let's move over to vocals. Alright, vocals. Who kicks off the song? Oh, it's me. I have a feeling that was recorded up in Mulaney. But yeah, that's me saying break, I think. Where does it go first? Verse 1. Yeah, so I've kind of split all of this into like chorus, pre-verse, verse, with all their own bussing. It's a lot, but it'll kind of make sense. Kind of. Right, let's have a look. Verse, verse, verse. Oh, just looking at the wrong section. Here we are. Bah.
Your fealty was false. You tried to make me see that nothing in this world could all sway over me. And what you saw inside was not for me to hide, but I can smell your fear.
Yeah, all the vocals on the album were recorded with this mic, the SM7B. I was using my Chandler TG2 mic pre and the TG Opto that goes with it. It's in the 500 series. We actually had a little booth set up behind me. Just made of, like, Dan made it out of PVC piping and removalist blankets. Just created this little dungeon for himself. Yeah, and that's how we kind of recorded or re-recorded all the vocals on the album. A lot of this was figured out, I think, in Mulaney. And then we just kind of re-recorded everything. So we're like 100% happy with everything. But who knows? There might be some stuff from Mulaney in here. Let's dig deeper. Oh yeah, so all this stuff that says like final would have been stuff that I probably re-recorded.
Your fealty was false. You tried to make me see that nothing in this world.
And normally I would like cut out all of those breaths, but there's something about those breaths that make it sound very angsty and tense. So kept all those in there. What's this one? It's just like a double that I've spread left and right. So it's got the main vocal in the middle, and then a double that's been stereo spread. And then like a man-made harmony on that one.
That nothing in this world. Your fealty was false. You tried to make me see.
Yeah, really man-made. With all these sort of harmony sort of things, especially in this style of music, I'm totally okay with them being like extremely heavily tuned. So they almost sound like synthesizers because they all kind of, it just works. Yeah, just for this style of music. Like if it was like indie rock or something like that, I wouldn't. It'd sound ridiculous. But when you've got like a bunch of synths and lead guitars and other sort of nonsense in there, and you don't really notice it. You notice it more if it's out of tune. So absolutely squashing the hell out of it with tuning. Totally fine.
Was false. You tried to make me see.
You don't notice it.
That nothing in this world.
Cool. We've got this little lo-fi.
It all sway over me.
Almost like a megaphone style thing. Would have just used some sort of distortion and saturation on that one.
What you saw inside was not for me to hide, but I can smell your fear.
Yeah, so it's just main vocal, double, like stereo widened double, and then harmony, left and right harmony. What's this one? Let's go back.
What you saw inside was not for me to hide, but I can smell your fear.
Yeah, like a little shouty thing. Come here.
What you saw inside was not for me to hide, but I can smell your fear.
Yeah, once again, heavily tuned. This might have been the original. Sounds like it was an original, but yeah, I've got apparently 3 versions of the same thing.
What you saw inside was not for me to hide, but I can smell your fear. What you saw inside was not for me to hide, but I can smell your fear.
Yeah, we would have mapped out all those harmonies on the keyboard too, and then just like really quantized everything, heavily tuned it, all that sort of thing, keep it snappy. All right, pre-chorus.
You hear the storm, the end is coming. The sky is dark, these walls are breaking down, and in the air, the scent of destruction. I can't ignore the taste of copper in my mouth.
All right, cool. So yeah, from the verse to the pre-chorus, I think these 2 channels switch from stereo to like left and right.
And is coming, the sky is dark, these walls are breaking down, and in the air, the sound of destruction.
they're all kind of doing the same thing. Looks like we got some, I don't know, vocal synth.
The sky is dark. These walls are breaking down and
Yeah, so just running that through isotope vocal synth.
you hear the storm.
I'll probably just have a few different variations of vocal synth. Let's have a listen.
The end is coming. The sky is dark. These walls are breaking down.
And then a weird octave up, octave down thing. Absolutely destroying it. And then I think there's more like whispery sort of thing, or falsetto.
The end is coming. The sky is dark. These walls are breaking down, and in the air, the sound of destruction. I can't ignore the taste of copper in my mouth. You hear the storm, the end is coming. The sky is dark, these walls are breaking down, and in the air, the scent of destruction. I can't ignore the taste of copper in my mouth.
Play all those together.
You hear the storm, the end is coming. The sky is dark, these walls are breaking down, and in the air, the scent of destruction.
Yeah, so this one's doing a bit of heavy lifting.
The taste of copper in my mouth.
That vocal synth there. I think I took out a bit of the middle channel just to keep it more in the stereo sort of realm, and then because the verse is a bit more in the middle, and then the pre-chorus kind of widens, and then the chorus is just all in. So let's move on to the chorus. So I'd have 3 versions of the main vocal, just doing the exact same thing, just middle, left, right.
I die on this day.
Whoops.
I will live and die on this day.
Cool. What do we got here? Old. Vocal synth. Lots of vocal synth stuff, especially throughout the whole album. Oh, beautiful, Dan. Oh, he's a sweet boy. And this might be a harmony. Man-made. But I don't mind things sounding like that, because in the context of the mix, it sounds cool.
I will live and die on this day.
It's just a lower version of this.
I will live and die on this day.
It's basically just creating harmonies and chords out of Dan's vocals. So yeah, I kind of treat them a little bit like a synthesizer anyway.
I will live and die on this day.
So that's the first half of the chorus, and then I think it goes into Screamy Dan for the second half, which I've separated onto different tracks.
The last good fight out now!
So I think I've got some sort of the scream enhancer again, like the vocal synth. So I would have just done, once again, 3 versions of the same thing, middle, left, right.
Last good fight out now! Follow the sun! Bite the hand that dragged you down! That leaves you bound! When lost its face! Face the blood and God flesh!
Yep. So that's all Dan, just multiple times. This will just be like God flesh.
God flesh!
Just really nailing that line. Yeah, so running Dan's voice through the vocal synth, but using the MIDI keyboard to pin down his vocals. So once again, more sort of like synth style vocals. Oh, Brad and me. Oh, okay. So what's Brad doing? There he is.
Down! Bound! Found!
Sick. And I'm doing probably some low stuff.
Swallow the sun! Down! Bound! Found! God flesh!
God flesh. And me and Brad.
Swallow the sun! Down! Bound! Found! God flesh!
Yeah, God flesh. Alright, let's hear all the vocals for that chorus.
We'll live and die on this day. The last good fight out there. Swallow the sun. Bite the hand that dragged you down. That leaves you bound. When lost its face. Face the blood and God flesh. Break.
Oh, we're up to the breakdown. Alright, cool. Alright, so that's just a bunch of us shouting break. Just stacking that. And then it's rip and tear.
Rip and tear and rip the bone till the wound is broken. Rip and tear and rip the bone till the wound is broken.
Yeah. So what have we got? Dan doing his thing.
Rip and tear and rip the bone.
Oh, that's not the main
Rip
record.
and tear and rip the bone till the wound is. Rip and tear and rip the bone till the wound is broken.
It's like a higher version of what he's doing. This might be the main one.
Rip and tear and rip the bone till the wound is broken. Rip and tear and rip the bone till the wound is broken.
Yeah, cool. So shifting from low to high on broken. But then filling in broken.
Broken. Broken.
Dan's low ones. He's probably doing like a mid or something here.
Broken.
Oh, it's me. Okay. Just throwing stuff all over the place.
Broken.
Yep. That's me. What's this one?
Broken.
Just another Dan. More Dan, I think.
Broken.
Yep.
Broken.
Cool. Yeah, just blending a bunch of different variations so it sounds huge. So doing like your low, mid, high, different variation, scream, shout, whatever you want to call them.
Broken.
It's more me.
Broken.
Sick. Nothing else. That's it. Sweet. Right, let me play. If my computer will be so kind. Maybe some drums. Maybe just everything apart from bass and guitars. I think that'll kind of give you a nice indication of all these things that you probably wouldn't necessarily hear in the mix without like the bass and the guitar getting in the way. Let's go over here.
Your fealty was false. You tried to make me see that nothing in this world can sway over me. What you saw inside was not for me to hide, but I can smell your fear. You hear the storm, the end is coming. The sky is dark, these walls are breaking down, and in the air, the scent of destruction. I can't ignore the taste of copper in my mouth. Will live and die on this day. The last could find out this overside. Like the hand that dragged you down, that leaves you bound. And lost its face, breaks the blood and God flesh. No reward without the risk, but you would let me fall. The taste of lies and steel, still singing in my jaws. The earth begins to shake, my bonds begin to break. I'm coming home. You hear the storm, the end is coming. The sky is dark, these walls are breaking down, and in the air, the scent of destruction. I can't ignore the taste of copper in my mouth. Will live and die on this day. The last could find out this overside. Like the hand that dragged you down, that leaves you bound. And lost its face, breaks the blood and God flesh. Break. Rip and tear and rip the bone till the wound is broken. Rip and tear and rip the bone till the wound is broken.
Sick ones. Awesome. Well, I think that pretty well covers Alpha. I should also just mention, like normally I would have this track spacer and Gullfoss on as well, but just for the purposes of actually being able to play the stuff and record myself and do all the sort of stuff all at the same time, I'm just trying to alleviate a lot of CPU sort of stuff. So I've got a few things switched off that I would normally have switched on. But yeah, that is Alpha in a nutshell. All right, sick. So that covers this week's episode of Songs of the Hyades, a look inside Carcosa. Next week we will have Sometimes Dead is Better, the fourth song on the album. So if you've stuck around this long, thank you. I'll catch you all next week for another episode. Have a good one. Cheers.